Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. Welcome to the show, y'all. Check this out, y'all. No matter what prison you go to, no matter what prison you find yourself in, you're going to always have those officers that mistreat people. Bottom line, no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And a lot of times it's people that once you find out things about them, it just blows your mind. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this episode. There was just one female officer, y'all. It was a female officer. Female officer. She wasn't a young girl to the extent like she was 18 or anything like that. She was like in her early 30s. That's still young, but it's old enough to know better. You understand what I'm saying? It's old enough to know, how to treat people in whatever situation. You feel what I'm saying? But she was hard on us, man. Hard on us. Whenever she would have to pat us down, get on the wall. Don't look back. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes somebody pat you down, you might look over your shoulder. She said, turn your head straight. Don't be looking at me. You know what I'm saying? Or she might walk by and then she'll look and say, what are you looking at? You're not even looking at her. You're not even looking at her. She said, what you looking at? Nothing. Then she'd say, get on the wall. Make you get on the wall while she walks by. Get out of her way while she walks by. She most definitely wouldn't let anybody walk behind her. She didn't do any of that. None of that. You couldn't walk behind her. And she made sure, like if she shook your cell down, she tossed all your stuff. Just doing it. Now, again, she wasn't doing anything that most officers wouldn't do or don't do, except for she would just be a little bit more aggressive with it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do that. But it was something about this particular female officer that made a lot of people like upset with the way she did things, not because she was an officer per se. It was because of who her dude was. Yeah, it's because of who her dude was. See, there was some dudes in here from town, you know what I'm saying, from the same town that she was from. And her dude, her two kids' daddy was a street dude. I'm talking about Dopeboy, getting it, shaking the spot, money for days, moving it up and down the highway. A lot of respect in the streets. A lot of respect in the streets. So they looked at her as like, wait a minute. We understand that you ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? This happened to be who you were with and got your kids by, but you know the struggle. You know the struggle. So why are you up in here mistreating people? So one day, a couple of them, they bumped down on her, right? What's up with you? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Now, they know her from the town. You feel what I'm saying? Now, she ain't going hard on them because she could get them shipped, but she ain't do that. She ain't do that. So they getting at her. What's wrong with you? Why are you doing all? Why are you acting like this? And they found out something. He done kicked her to the curb. Because she became an officer, he got rid of her. He was like, nah, I don't deal with the police. So he got rid of her. He don't want to mess with her no more. He don't talk to her no more. He take care of his kids, but he don't want nothing to do with her no more. He didn't understand that she just was trying to do this because she wanted a job. She didn't want to have to rely and depend on him. And it was an opportunity for her. You know what I'm saying? She hadn't been to college or anything like that, so she felt like her prospects were limited. So she got a job at the prison. But when she got that job at the prison, she brought her baggage with her. And that baggage was animosity towards street dudes. Animosity towards street dudes. She was mad at the people in the streets because she was mad at him. And she let everybody know it. She let everybody know it. But let me tell you what happened. Check this out. Let me show you something. I'm going to show you how fate will twist you upside down. See, her dude got popped, right? Now I'm gonna speed it up a little bit, but from the time that he got popped to the time that he came to the penitentiary was almost 2 years because he was fighting his case. But he got popped. And when he did get popped, she sees it on TV. Everybody else sees it on TV, but it's just a handful of people that's in the penitentiary that know. Now, I don't know what she revealed to the people when she hired in. I don't know what she revealed to them on her resume when she was doing her interview. I don't know if she told them that her kid's daddy was a street dude or felon or whatever. I don't know what she told them. But the people that were in the penitentiary that knew, they didn't really spread that around a lot. Just a handful of us knew that her dude was a street dude and that he was on his way to the penitentiary, right? So check this out. So they see him, he's on the news. He got busted with a boatload of stuff, right? Guns, drugs, hard drugs, cocaine, marijuana, pills, all this whole kind of stuff. A lot of money, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's seeing this on the news. And she is too. And it's really pissing her off because she's seeing how good he was doing. You understand? So he makes his way through the court system and he ends up at the penitentiary that we were all at. Now, we know what this is. She's supposed to turn that in because she has kids by him. She can't work at the same penitentiary that her dude is. You know what I'm saying? How's that? You feel me? Even though they had nothing to do with each other at this point. Remember that. So when he comes in, he sees her. She the pod officer. He sees her. But he tries to play it cool. But like I said, it was a handful of people in the pod that already knew the business. So he makes his way, after about a week, he makes his way around to get to talk to her and all this and that. And you could see it on her face. She just giggling. He, ha, ha. But she wasn't he and ha, ha because she was happy to see him. She was he and ha, ha, and like, yeah, I got it. I got him now. He going to have to do everything that I say. Everything that I say. And that's just dead on that. So she was hard on him off the top. I'm talking hard on him. Shaking his cell down, threatening him, and told him, if you say one word, I'll have you shipped to the worst penitentiary in the state. Now keep in mind, she knew him intimately, right? So she knew what kind of cloth he was cut from. He wasn't that dude. He put on a little bit. Now, he wasn't going to run or nothing like that, but he wasn't that dude. This is a dope boy. He ain't no killer. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have a combination of the two, but in this situation, no, it was not. He was a money getter. You know what I'm saying? With good plugs, and he had a good head for business. So she got him. Talking crazy to him, rushing him out of the shower, all of these types of things. You know what I'm saying? Shaking his cell down more than what she should, more than what she needed to. But she was justified in saying all kind of stuff to the captain and them, letting them know that, now I'm watching him. So that let me know she couldn't have told them that she had kids by him. She couldn't have, right? So look, don't get it twisted. Because those of us that's in here, we know the rules, how they supposed to live, just like they know the rules about how we're supposed to be living, right? So if she didn't tell them that her baby daddy was in the pod that she was in, that made her what? Vulnerable. Why is that? Because now we got information on her. We got that chip in the game now. Oh yeah, the chip in the game is valuable, babe. I'm telling you now. So look here, check this out. So he starts to figure out what's going on. If she had told them what was going on with me, that's how he's putting it, I wouldn't be here. So when he had that talk with me, I was like, yeah. Now keep in mind, this is back in the day, y'all, so I don't want to hear nobody come to me talking about this current and all that. It's not current. This is a long time ago. I'm telling you. And it at a whole nother facility years ago. You feel what I'm saying? And I say that point because, people get talking crazy and acting crazy. This is not current. So anyway, he steps to her. And he makes it his business to tell her. You know what I'm saying? Don't be playing with me no more. Because me and him had a talk. Because he was sicko. He's ready to get shipped and all this and that. But back in the day, I was on one. I was on one. You always look for a route. Always. Even if it's going through somebody else. So after me and him talked, he understood that he really had the leverage over her. He had the power. So he stepped to her. He said, look, we ain't going to be doing this no more. All this craziness, you talking about this, that, and the third, we ain't finna do this no more. He said, if you want me to get shipped, you need to go tell him. Other than that, back up off of me or I'll go tell him. Now, she knew if he went and told them, then she would get fired because she had withheld information from them. Even if she goes now and tells them, she's hit. So she's in a losing position. She really can't say nothing. She's at his mercy. So now he bumped down on him. Look, you know how it go. You know how it go. He in the penitentiary, even though he had moved on from her, ain't none of those females on his list yet. You know what I'm saying? And even if they were, he ain't going to be able to do what he wants to do. So he tell her, it's like, look, you know I still love you. You know I still love you. Now, that's all she wanted to hear. That's all she wanted to hear. He said, I just couldn't handle being with somebody that was the police. You know what I was doing out there? And she told him, she said, but I would have never done anything to hurt you. Then she said, this is at the penitentiary. She said, I'm not the police on the street. I wouldn't have been involved in that. And he said, I ain't understand all that. He's telling her. They going back and forth. They working it out. He manipulating and she trying to get his heart back. You feel me? So now she feeling it. She feeling it. He get her number on his list some kind of way. He's calling her, all this and that. Now they stealing kisses and she let him knock her down a couple of times, you know what I'm saying, when everybody go to chow. He doing his thing. He doing his thing. And she loving every minute of it. She got her man back. Oh, wait a minute. She forgot something. You the police and you at work. You can't be in no relationship like this. You can't be acting like you on the street. But she couldn't help it. She couldn't help it. She couldn't help it. She still loved him, and now he was giving her all the attention that she wanted. She had worked 8 hours a day, sometimes longer than that, and he is giving her all the attention she can handle. And then that day came when he said, I need you to bring me something. Scared her to death. Scared her to death. Because keep in mind, she ain't never done nothing like that. Never. Never, ever. And she'd heard about it because, you know, she the police now. She been trained. So they've told her how that works and all of these different things that come along with it. So she knows what it is and she knows how that has to happen if she was going to do it. But she's never done that herself. And it scared her. It scared her. But she loved him. And he played on that. He played all the way on that. And he convinced her to bring him in that pack. And she bought him in that pack. I'm talking about bought him in that pack several times a week. And now he's getting his money. But his name is coming up front. Name coming up front. They listening to everything that's going on. They know his name now as far as he's on the compound selling dope. And let me tell you something. Keep in mind, in the penitentiary, hey, ain't no secrets. They know what you're doing. They know what you're doing. Now, you can keep thinking that they don't know what you're doing. They know they always know what's going on in the penitentiary. The thing is, they decide when they're going to stop it. They decide that. They decide when they're going to stop it. And a lot of times, a lot of people want to believe because they haven't been busted or they haven't gotten them yet that they're safer, that they're smarter and all this and that, right? I'm going to tell you something. Back in my day, look here, I had 2 and 3 year runs sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Selling dope, ain't never get the dope kicked in, having phones, all of that old kind of stuff. 2 or 3 years solid, straight. Ain't no problem. So I'm thinking, man, I got the move. I got this plan. I'm smarter than everybody else in the penitentiary because everybody else is getting popped on a regular. They don't know nothing about me. Stupid, foolish me. They knew everything. They knew everything. Other people were more of a priority to them at the time. They would watch me. You feel me? And keep in mind, like I say, I was the 9 back in the day when I was in rotation. I was the 9. So it was somewhat to their advantage to let me continue to do what I was doing because I kept the peace. Now, I know a lot of you don't want to hear that, but that's how it goes a lot in here. A lot of the people that's in gangs, well, they don't do it so much now, but back then, back in the day, certain people, they would just leave alone. As long as they kept peace. And I was one of those people that kept the peace because I didn't want nothing messing up the money. I didn't care nothing about whether the penitentiary was chaotic or not. It was about the money. And if chaos caused you to mess that money up, then no, you're not going to be doing that up in here. The pods that I lived in, no, we ain't having none of that. So they would leave me alone. They would leave me alone. And me and my number two, they would leave us alone. And we would have everything going on. And they would know it. Because sometimes I would get stopped here and there, whatever, and they said, look, you need to slow down this month. You're moving a little too fast. You're doing this, you're doing that. And I would take heed to that. I would look at it like, oh, they just looking out. They just looking out. They might have heard some, but they ain't sure. And then I would go on this high security thing like I'm really taking care of the business and watching, but they already knew. And it's just like what I'm talking about in this story. They already knew that he was getting it. They didn't know how he was getting it, not yet. But they knew he was getting it. And she's in these meetings down front. You know, they have these meetings when they come to work and all this. So they brief them on what's going on from shift to shift. You feel? So she's hearing it. And she's telling him, look, they're talking about you. You need to stop. You don't need to be doing this. You got plenty of money. You got plenty of money. Because at this point, he had started to involve her in what he had going on the street. Putting his money up, taking care of his two kids, all of these types of things. She's planning the future while he's trying to be penitentiary fabulous. Trying to be penitentiary fabulous. And she's trying to tell him, look, it's time for you to lay it down. Lay it down, finish your time, get out, and then we can do this thing together. Because to her, as long as he was there, she had somebody. She had him. She was getting the sex when she wanted it. She was getting all the conversations that she wanted. And then even when she would go home, she was able to talk to him on the phone. So to her, this is as good as it's going to get. And this is great for her right now. She wasn't missing out on anything that you would normally miss other than him taking her out at night, taking her to the club or taking her out for dinner or being at home at night and laying in the bed with her. She was willing to deal with that because she had him. She was spending more time with him in the penitentiary than a lot of women get to spend time with that man on the streets. And she was cool with that. She was cool with that, but he wasn't. He really didn't care about her. He really didn't want her. She was just a chip in the game. She was a chip in the game, but she couldn't see it. She couldn't see it. So you know what he did. He kept pushing. He kept driving her. He kept her bringing in that pack. And then one day, she noticed down front that they were acting funny towards her. They were acting funny towards her. And when she came on the compound, she told him, she said, something's not right. And he said, what are you talking about? And she said, they were acting funny towards me. They were looking at me, but they didn't say anything. And she said, I know that look. She said, that's how they look at people that they are suspicious of, that they don't trust anymore. She said, I'm telling you, something is not right. Right? So, the problem was this. They had, like I said, they know everything. They had gotten information that she knew him and that she was bringing in drugs to him. They had gotten that information. Where could they have gotten that information? A handful of people knew the business, right? But see, this is what happens in prison. When you get in that bag and you ain't breaking bread with everybody like they think you should, they want to determine how much of your stuff that you should give them, right? And when you're not doing that, you develop enemies in here. You develop enemies in here. People, let me tell you something. People in here that don't deal with what's really going on with them, their real insecurities, the issues that they have going on the inside of them, it manifests itself in all kind of ways. They can have a setup that's feeding them, giving them money and all this, but if they're greedy, selfish, insecure children, it'll manifest itself in that and get in the way of the business. And that's what happened. One of the people that he was dealing with was a selfish, greedy, controlling type person. And he was breaking bread with him on the low. You know what I'm saying? Not charging him like he was charging everybody else, but that wasn't enough. Because he was a jealous, envious type dude. He wanted her and he wanted more from him. And he pushed. And bro told him, I can't do it like that. So he would say stuff to her, and she was committed to do. So he's feeling rejected by her, rejected by him. What does he do? Cut his nose off to spite his face, so to speak. He dropped a note. He don't tell that she's his baby daddy, that he's her baby daddy. He don't tell that part. But he tell enough. He tells enough to rattle the cage, just trying to get the attention. But see, this is what he don't understand, idiot. When they get a little something, I'm talking to them folks down front, when they get a little something, then they start looking and peeling back the layers. They peeling back the layers on that onion, y'all. And now they're paying attention. Now they're starting to rewind tapes and looking and noticing all this and that. They're putting the puzzle together. She knows this guy way more than what she's told us. What is going on here? That's the looks that they were giving her. We cannot trust her. So she's getting spooked. And she tells him, something ain't right. Now he's starting to notice it. They're watching more. Certain people that don't normally show up in the pod, like the lieutenant and the captain, they usually come once a day to sign the book. Now they're coming more and more regular than that. People are dropping in there and just walking around. They ain't saying nothing to nobody, just looking around, but they're watching. See, when you're paranoid, you think they're watching you. So there's other people in the pod that's thinking that they were in there to watch them, but they wasn't in there to watch them. They were in there to watch him and her. And she's noticing they're not even speaking to her down front like they used to. You know, and some of the other female officers on the compound, they were telling us that, look, they're talking about you. Be careful. They're trying to give it a heads up, give it a 411, make sure she's straight. Because they're women, they're looking out for each other. They should. So she tells her, she said, I can't bring nothing no more. Not right now. We got to shut that down. He says, cool, that's fine. So they shut that down for a while. So she's straight on that. See, they can't catch her bringing no drugs, so they can't put her in jail. You feel me? But let's go back to the beginning of the story. The big chip in the game was this. She didn't reveal to them that she had 2 kids by him. She didn't reveal that. So now, the dude that initially dropped the note, he ain't getting no dope no more. Ain't nobody. Not for the time being. So now he sees no need to hold back anything. Just a hating dude. Just a jealous, envious sucker. You know what I'm saying? So he drops the note. Spills the tea. He tells him the whole plot. They come in the middle of the night. Escort her out the building. Just, come on, let's go. They ain't put handcuffs on her. They ain't talk crazy. They told her, come on, let's go. They take her down front. Put another officer in the pod. After about 30 or 40 minutes, she come back. Get her bags, get all her stuff, go to the refrigerator, get her lunch out of the refrigerator, and walk out without saying a word. And she leaves the prison. They fired her because she withheld information that was vital. They come back in the pod, pack him up. They pack her dude up. Take him straight to the hole, pending investigation. Now they're trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, what was really going on. They getting at him about the dope and this and that. He keeping his mouth shut. He keeping the penitentiary. He don't tell them nothing because now they're not satisfied with just firing her. They feel betrayed, so they want to nail her to the wall. They're going to try to get him to tell about that dope, but he don't do it. So they punish him. Pack him up and send him to the worst penitentiary in the state. And as soon as he gets down there, he get popped. Yeah. They run in on him and try to rob him, hit him with that thing a couple of times in the back because he's trying to run and get away. The worst thing you can do when somebody pull a pocket knife on you, don't ever turn your back on him. And that's what he did. He turned his back on him, tried to run, and they hit him 2 times in the back when he fell. They didn't kill him, but they hit him pretty good. And he did the rest of his time in protective custody. Yeah, several years in protective custody. Yeah, several years in protective custody. And that's what can happen in here. That's what could happen in here. Now, I wanted to tell you that story because, look, a lot of people know a lot of people that work in the penitentiary, right? It might be from your hometown. It might be a friend, family member, whatever the case may be. Don't use them. If they've chosen to go that path, let them go, man. Let them flourish in what they do. Stop taking advantage of people. Stop doing what we do to get over on people. You know you don't care about them. You know you don't love them. You're just trying to use them. Don't do that. Don't do that. But I'm going to get on down on this one, right? I'm going to get on down on this one. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.